still not subscribed to the Partition, you know, it's a lot of ways that you can do this besides watching all the content. But before we start, always remember, go to the channels link. Every show that we have, you can always see every show before everybody else see the show. But besides that, always remember, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, put it on all. Until then, always remember, anything is possible. Thank you for choosing the Partition. Now let's get into the show. Anything is possible. Peace. She worked at the club I used to work at.
Porn, some people could clock in. And you know, money is money. See, that made it easy, man. My fans know who I am.
My son got me this with my dad, so I can always have him with me whenever I do the show.
Hold on, wait. I want to laugh.
Welcome back to Choppin It Up with Lil Ron. Today in the studio, we have another author that is basically up on the rise. This author is very good author and was recommended to me by another author. I want you guys to welcome the one and only Mr. Chris Cheetham-West. Did I get it right?
Yeah, Chris Cheetham-West, yeah.
Yeah, Cheetham-West.
Yeah, Cheetham-West.
All I'm thinking about is the cut them high, do them low. Right. Okay, man, I'm glad to have you on the show. Whenever I bring anybody on to the show, I always welcome. And I always like to let them kind of introduce my fans to them, because your fans apparently know who you are.
Yeah.
So can you kind of give us a little quick rundown of who you are, and we can go from there?
Okay, great. So I'm Chris Cheetham-West. I wrote a book on digital marketing a couple years ago, and my latest book, Leading in a Virtual World. So it talks about remote teams and team management. And the way I started was early on in my career, I had a job at Google, and we went around the country educating small business owners on how to use Google Maps, Google tools for their business. Mm-hmm. And eventually I realized that's like what I want to do, train people, organizations, help people grow their organization and business, and started my business, LR Training Solutions, in 2014. Mm-hmm. And then since then, just been helping many companies across the world, in the U.S., and as well as Texas as well, just grow their business online. So yeah, that's my background.
When you said Google, the first thing come to my mind, I think if I'm not mistaken, don't Google on YouTube now?
Yeah, they on YouTube. Yeah,
they on YouTube. Yep. Then they got the Google phone. They actually have right now.
Yep.
And then they have a whole bunch of slur of stuff that they got their hands in. How was it like working for Google?
Yeah, it was definitely a good experience because got to meet so many people. I mean, originally we went to the Mountain View office, and sometimes we went to the New York office and then the Austin office. And so the real lessons I learned were from the other people that I got to work with, because they come from all over the world and ambitious, work hard. And also one thing I learned from there is like the changing environment. I was like, man, there's a lot of change about as far as like the projects we work on. But after I started my business, I realized that, hey, that's just how business is. You know, you got to change with the times. You got to be adaptable. You got to look at the new trends, and you got to take advantage of the trends. Yep. And so, yeah, that was one of the best parts about, I remember working at Google. It's just how fast paced it is and how it's always adapting to new trends and what the consumer wants.
And, you know, when I first saw your book, the first thing that came to my mind, I'm thinking about VR. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm saying, well, man, is this going to be about VR? Because, you know, a lot of people now, they live in the VR world. That's what they like to do. I even heard people are actually selling. They're making houses in the virtual world, and people are paying like 20, 40, 50. I heard somebody bought one house for $500,000, man.
Yeah.
In that virtual world.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's part in the book, there's a chapter in chapter 4, talk about the Metaverse and how that's going to change the way we do business, how teams collaborate. It's how people can collaborate, how it's going to change the way we do business. Because you're right, people are buying and selling houses in there. They're buying land. I have a friend that has land in the Metaverse right now. So,
real?
Yeah. So,
well, you know, I had one of them Google. I had a Oculus.
For real? Okay.
I think the Oculus Quest. I had the
Quest. That's what you use. Yeah.
Yes, man. I had one of those Quests when they first came out. The first one, it was all black. Mm-hmm. When they first released it, the second one I think it was ended up being white. But I had the black one. And I was like blown away when I saw like with the stuff that you can do with the in the living room, and you can watch
It's
Netflix
crazy.
with your friends, and you can hey, look, man, come sit in with me. That blew me. And I saw the Creed boxing game they had on there.
Yeah.
And all that stuff looked basically real. So now I'm assuming it's even better than what it normally was. And I think Google had some glasses
back
a while
in the day.
back.
Yeah, a
Kato
long
was
time
telling me
ago.
about those glasses.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah.
Did that project flop for Google?
Yeah, I didn't think it went well. Like that was like about 9 years ago while I was there, and it didn't take off. It probably won't take off right now if they re-release something, because now everybody's interested in the metaverse and how it's going to change, how they can utilize it, how they can use it for their business, how they use it for their personal life. So I think the metaverse is going to be a good opportunity for many businesses and personal life as a way to connect. Because a lot of people are working at home, and now they're just using Zoom, and maybe when they're on Zoom, they're not using their camera. So I think when it comes to the metaverse, it's going to have an opportunity for everybody can be connected a little bit more.
Yeah,
they can have meetings with their avatar. Just connection.
You're right. And you think about it, when you think about Zoom, they came up right when the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because at first,
right
back then the communication was I think it was over or something like that. Then you had Skype.
Yeah, Skype. Yeah, Skype.
It took them boys out of the way. I mean, everything now evolves around that right there, and that's like
Zoom.
that company. Stuff went up like real fast, and they actually came up during the COVID-19 because that was the thing that people wanted to do. Now I know a lot of people lost their job when they come down to the app, not turning off the microphone and all type of stuff. I actually heard. Now
Zoom took off.
In your book, what else do you go in detail with? Because I'm kind of curious because I used to be into IT and networking and stuff, so. I'm pretty sure you have IT stuff like networking actually inside of the book too as well.
Yeah, so basically the book goes over if you're in a situation where you're part of a remote team. So maybe you have your teammates and colleagues in a different city, different country, or even a different state.
Team viewer.
Team
viewer.
Yeah, so if you have a different, and how to really communicate with them and collaborate with them and figure out how you can have that connection that you had in person, because so many people are in this new environment and they're struggling with communicating. They're struggling with showing their value to their managers.
Don't know how to adapt.
Adapting, So from that perspective, it's like working from home. And also if you're a manager, how do you really communicate and get accountability
with your employees?
With your employees without having to seem like you're micromanaging. So there's so many tools out there we can use to collaborate. So many online tools, Microsoft tools, Google tools that help us to communicate through virtual and video that can help us build that connection. And also just in general, how to be productive when you're working from home, because that can be a hassle too.
Because some people, they be working from home, but they got Ray Ray and Pookie in the other room screaming and hollering and stuff. Or you got the dog barking in the background and they got to tell them, shh, be quiet, be quiet. But exactly. I know how that actually is. What was your thoughts when you wrote this book? Like what actually made you say, hey, look, this is the next book I want to write and this is what I want to write about?
Okay, yeah. So just because my first job, it was remote. So I was like, back then, I didn't even understand that there is such thing as remote work. So I was like, it was a challenge because I would be working in, my managers might feel like I'm not working, but in reality I was. But it was the way that I was communicating.
Gotcha.
So they may feel that, hey, I need a email every day with updates. And from there, in my perspective, how can I have FaceTime with the manager as well? So, and then when the pandemic happened, so many major companies, small business went remote. They started doing more digital stuff. So I was like, yeah, this is a good time because people are struggling with this, working from home all of a sudden. So that's what made me write it. And I feel like it'll help a lot of people working at home and also working in the corporate environment or even a small business. Because many small business owners, they have teams. I have a team and my team is in different parts of the country and some of the other countries. So there's a lot of different tips you want to use to make sure the team is productive and make sure everybody's on the same page as well.
Yeah, I have a team too as well, and we try to do that ourselves, but we use a little old-fashioned way. We got them iPhones, and we just put each other in the group chat, and then we go from there.
Hey, that counts, right?
Yeah, that actually works, but all that leads around technology. People don't understand because a lot of people don't like to adapt to the technology and not knowing that the technology is going to actually rule the world. Half of the stuff you see, like in Terminator and the Jetsons and stuff, a few years ago, people wouldn't believe that you can talk to somebody on your watch. Now you can look at them and talk to them on your watch.
Easy. Wow.
They wouldn't turn back around. They wouldn't. They laughed at a man that drove a car, and the car talked to him. Cars they talk to you. They talk to you now, man. And then you got Back in the days when you had the Jetsons, you know, the telephone, you talk.
That's true, yeah.
What you have now is FaceTime. Person is actually looking at you
yeah.
and y'all having a conversation.
Yep.
Do you ever get time where you actually be depressed? Like, because, you know, you're doing all this work. I'm pretty sure you have a wife.
Yeah.
And your wife do whatever comes in between y'all marriage because you work doing this so much? Or do she be a part of what you do?
Yeah. Yeah, she's an assistant principal. I mean, so she's busy as well. So it can be a challenge. You know, it's kind of difficult to balance sometimes the business and personal life. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the best thing to do is just try to figure out how can they come together. Gotcha. So I make sure to like try to balance my day, work on business when it's business time during the day, and then in the evening spend time with my wife. You know, and then also I think vacations are important. So I think we take the vacations. Maybe if it's a short vacation to Austin or Galveston, or maybe it's a different vacation to Jamaica. But like having that time to completely relax and completely turn the phones off, I think that's important when it comes to entrepreneurship.
Well, you know, they change it now. They don't call it a vacation no more. They call it a vacation. That's what they call it now. Hey, look, I want to go on the vacation. Yeah, that's what it is. It's supposed to be the time with you and your significant other, unless you're taking your kids. So I guess they call it a kidvation. A kidvation. Yeah. But another thing I wanted to actually know on this book, when you released it, do you plan on doing a follow-up on this particular book anytime soon? Because I know I'm pretty sure somebody gonna say, man, because I know dealing in the tech world, you can't cram everything into that one book. I ain't gonna lie about that, because stuff changes and different rules apply each and every day, almost like the Matrix. I hate to say it, it's almost just like it. Do you plan on doing a follow-up to the actual book? Yeah,
definitely. I definitely feel like it's important because part of the book has a technology component to it. And as you can see, technology changes really quickly. So within 2 years, things are going to be different.
That's right. So maybe what happened 2 years ago is going to be totally different.
Totally different. Yeah, so more.
This is another question I do want to ask. It's very important. For a person that actually want to get into writing and doing the books, what else do you do outside of that besides writing books? Is anything else that you do? Oh yeah. So I'm a professional speaker. So I go and speak at conferences as a keynote speaker or a breakout speaker, and then do training for organizations and have some consulting work as well. So do a few different things, you know. So outside of the writing. So during the writing, I try to make sure focus on the writing, and then after that, I go back to make sure I work on with these clients, consulting, speaking, training, things like that. So I think that's important too. Yeah, you know, multiple streams. Yeah, because if you turn back around, if you can write a book, you can speak to people. Some people don't understand that. They be like, "Man, I'm not a good speaker, man. If you can write that book, you can speak to people." You have content, man. You have all the content. That's easy and simple. I gotta tell people, hey, man, if you can interview somebody, you can go sit down and be a public speaker if it come down to it. You're doing the same thing. You just taking your time. Different format. You get all your stuff done. Half of the stuff that the presidents and these people have is already written by somebody else. They just go and just read it off a piece of paper or they read it on a teleprompter. And they actually good. Yeah. Now, we get to the point where we call Leon's Top 5. And this segment, Leon was a cousin of mine. He got killed in a car accident last year. So what I do, I dedicate this segment to him. What will be your Leon's Top 5? What I mean, it could be rap, it could be R&B, it can be gospel, it can be jazz, it can be Jamaican, it can be blues, it could be techno. I don't care what it is. What's the top 5 artists in your top 5 that you listen to? Okay, top 5. Interesting. Okay, so like Jay-Z, Drake, Lil Wayne, who else? Beanie the Butcher, he's a new artist. Okay. And that's 4? It's 4, yeah, one more. Let's see. I would say J. Cole. Yeah, I'll say J. Man, I was just listening to J. Cole Build It to the Sky earlier. Oh, okay, yeah. Man, I was just listening to that just a little while ago. I was listening to that in my car on my way over, man, because, you know, music ain't really like it used to be, man. It used to be fun to listen to music. Now, man, I think they should have made another category with some of the new rappers when they turn back around and they do, like, I guess they call it mumble rap, where you better understand what they're saying. Yeah, mumble rap. I feel like they should make like a whole other category. But hey, if they consider that as hip hop, man, change, yeah. Hey, ain't nothing we can do about it. And then they go into the digital stuff. I think it's NFC. NFT, yeah, NFT, yeah. Do you talk about that in your book, or is that going to be in a book? It's not in the book, but it's like similar to the Metaverse stuff. Yeah, I touch on a little bit, a couple sentences, but yeah, you get an idea of what that is on chapter 4 of the book.
Do you ever have people ask you, man, why you don't never write about cryptocurrency? Do you? Because people ask about that.
Yeah, people ask, yeah.
Do you ever have that problem?
Yeah, some people ask me about it, so that's a hot topic. But it's like you still gotta be careful, you know. So like this cryptocurrency goes up and down 24/7, so you gotta be prepared. So when it comes to talking about that, you gotta be careful. You know, you don't want somebody to
like the stock market.
Tell somebody to do
drop
something
down overnight,
and then you lose the money. So it's like, man, so you definitely gotta be careful with that. But yeah, that's definitely an important topic.
Okay,
might consider that in the future.
Next thing I want to do is I want to let people know how can they find this book.
Okay, yeah, check out Amazon.com. So also BarnesandNoble.com. So just type in the title, Leading in a Virtual World, and it's Kindle, also paperback as well.
Okay.
Yep.
So you got both the Kindle and the paperback.
Yeah, paperback. Yep.
They still do stuff on Kindles.
They still do it. They still ebooks. Yeah, they still.
You know, a lot of people just like
it.
those ebooks, man.
Yeah.
And I just thought about that too. They got e-magazines too, don't they?
Yeah.
That's gonna be nice. The e-magazines.
E-magazines online. Yep.
So do you think people grow attached to e-magazines just as well as they do the regular paper magazines?
I think it's like more. It's just like how we used to use newspapers. Like now, people don't really use newspapers that much. They rather go to the articles. Yeah, they really go to the website and read the same articles instead of having the newspaper.
Keep going. So, you got to go through nothing. You know something? You show right. That's exactly.
So newspapers used to be big time, but now that declined like a lot.
Now, how can they find you on social media?
Oh yeah, Instagram Chris N West, Twitter Chris N West, and then Facebook Chris Cheetham-West, and then LinkedIn Chris Cheetham-West as well.
Okay, everybody got them LinkedIns. I need to get me one of them.
Yeah, you gotta get LinkedIn, too, man. For business,
you know, people like that for your business. People like that, man.
Yep.
And how much is the book?
So $16.95. Yeah,
$16.95 for the book.
So really, yeah.
Don't inbox the man asking them, can you get the book for $10? You know, some people will ask you, can you give a deal? And they want to cut the man. I don't want to pay no tax to Amazon, man. Go ahead and give me for $10. No. Do you plan on doing any book signings somewhere down the line?
Probably in a couple months. Yeah, probably a couple months. So see how it goes. So I did one for the last one. Did it like a book launch. So for this one, probably gonna do something in August, September.
Okay, August, September. Okay, well, you let us know.
Okay, I'll let you know.
We gonna make sure we come out.
Okay,
to support you doing your book signing.
Yeah.
You guys, make sure y'all support Mr. Chris, and always remember. Until next time, anything is possible. Thank you for choosing Choppin' Up with Lil Ron. Until next time, we out. Peace.